Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Division Z podcast. My name is Jason.
And I'm K Cosmic.
Today, we have quite a bit of stuff to talk about, actually, when it comes to just Call of Duty and news and what's going on in the community right now. You know, obviously we had the Super Easter egg for Cold War. We've had some other news pertaining to future Call of Duty games that may or may not be named Modern Warfare 2. And,
maybe not,
some other things to talk about, too. So, yeah, man, what do you think of all the news we've been getting over this last week before we jump into it?
So, I think there's just so much, and it's a nice change again, because obviously we know Vanguard just isn't really, like, vibing with the general community. I think a lot of people, like it's, you know, you look at campaign, you know, we talked about last week, I think I said it was quite mediocre. Talking about multiplayer, you know, the base game's good, but then there's all these issues, and it's just not really, you know, doing it, and we're like halfway through the game's life cycle. And then zombies is obviously zombies, and they're trying to save it, and maybe down the road it'll be really good. But it's just something, I think we need a new COD. I hate saying it, right? But I think we just need a newer COD sooner. And honestly, I think Modern Warfare 2, which the game is obviously called, will be that breath of fresh air. And I also have to say, what do you think of the logo? I think the logo looks incredible for it. I think they really...
I think they definitely are hitting on the nostalgia with the color scheme.
I've
seen a lot of people on Twitter be like, "Oh my gosh, you know, it's got the same colors as Modern Warfare 2, and you know, it's got the green thing, and you know, oh my god, it's gonna be just like that game," you know. So I think they know what they're doing when it comes to the logo and the color scheme and all that stuff. But yeah, I guess we'll just start with Modern Warfare 2 since we're already talking about it, right?
Yeah, might as well, yeah.
So Modern Warfare 2, obviously the sequel to one of the more successful games in the Call of Duty franchise, sales-wise. And, I mean, hey, all I gotta say is one thing that I hope comes back to Modern Warfare 2 that I really enjoyed from Modern Warfare... Gunfight, yeah.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Gunfight.
I mean, look, Gunfight is one of my favorite things in Call of Duty ever. I love the game mode. I think it's fun. I've done tournaments with it. So like it's just a good, you know, it's a good format, and I hope it comes back in Modern Warfare because Vanguard tried to take the gunfight formula and then made it too, how do I explain this? There's too many moving parts to it. Like they wanted to make it like Heist from Black Ops 4. They wanted to make it like Warzone thing where you got lives and like an armory and a buy station. Like I don't know, like it's not really my cup of tea. So I really hope they just go back to basics with gunfight, normal gunfight in Modern Warfare 2.
I mean, listen, man, I gotta say, there's a lot of game modes that come and go from COD. Like, I mean, let's go back to World War II. You had War, for example. I thought that was a really good game mode, but did we ever see it again? No.
Yeah, actually, I did like War.
We never really seen it again. And Black Ops 4 had that weird mode. I think was that Heist where it was like the CS:GO style. You could buy stuff at the start of rounds. Was that? Yeah. Obviously, we didn't really see that again either. I don't think, at least. I don't think we've seen it with Cold War.
Yeah. No.
And then obviously. No, and then we got Gunfight, and then Gunfight, you know, really appealed to people because it's sort of quick, easy, get a match, you know, play your game. That's it. Yeah. A 1v1 or 2v2, so there's not like all this like people peeking from higher angles, you know, and the maps are made obviously for the game mode in mind. So yes, I mean, I hope it comes back as well because it's quite a fun game mode.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know what's really interesting too? Like I was playing Vanguard, and also we'll talk about Season 3 of Vanguard, but I just want to touch on this a little quick. The new multiplayer map that is out right now for Vanguard, obviously, is Mayhem, the one that takes place on a movie set. That set, that environment would make for a perfect gunfight map because it's small enough and it has different lanes and different areas that would really fit a gunfight map, in my opinion. Because right now with Mayhem, as the name, it lives up to its name. It's very chaotic. It's very hectic, especially when you get onto Assault and Blitz pacing. When you go into multiplayer, it can be a little too much sometimes. So I feel like a map like that could have been good for gunfight. And some of the other maps could be maybe good for gunfight as well if they condense them a little bit more in Vanguard. So I don't know. I feel like there's moments where I go, man, this could have been a good gunfight area. Or, man, like what's going on here? And then we have Champion Hill, which has no updates at all. At least Gunfight had updates. It had new maps. It had new game modes, LTMs, and things like that for both Modern Warfare and Cold War. So, like, I don't know what the hell's going on with
I
Champion
think
Hill.
I think with Champion Hill, that was just them trying to like not make a new exciting. I think it was just them kind of trying to like scrape together something. Like, okay, most CODs launch a new game mode or something. Let's try something, and then they did that, and it was when we played it, it was I remember it being quite annoying actually.
It is a little bit actually. Those maps aren't really my favorite.
Yeah, it was fun, right? But I don't know. I felt like it was trying to be something that wasn't.
Actually, now that I just remembered, there was actually one LTM for Champion Hill that I remember that I played a couple rounds of. Champion Hill launchers only. I remember that.
That sounds awful.
And as you know what? As awful as it was, I almost won a game. Almost. That's the key word. Almost. So maybe if I won, I wouldn't have said it was annoying. But I mean, hey, people camp in corners with rocket launchers and grenade launchers anyways. So I mean, hey, the rats get to have fun in that game mode.
The rats.
The rats, dude. That's what we call people that camping corners. They don't play the game. They just sit there. That's all they do the whole game. They don't really do anything. They don't play the objective. That's a rat.
I mean, talking about campers, right? Obviously, Modern Warfare 2019 was quite well known for the rats. Yes. I mean, the game was made with safe spaces, doors, guns that kill really fast. So that was a really big issue in Modern Warfare 2019. So going with Modern Warfare 2, I'm not going to call it Modern Warfare 2 2022.
Well, yeah,
so many twos. Yeah, Modern Warfare 2, right? Do we think they're going to go down the same route because the game was obviously quite successful, or do you think they're going to take the community feedback and work on maps that are more, not like that? Because I have a feeling that they're going to try and replicate Modern Warfare 2019 and build on top of that to make it a bigger scaled kind of game, if you get what I mean. I don't know. I have a feeling that the smaller maps maybe will be lacking at the start.
I feel like the only way I can answer that is what I hope they do. And I hope they do keep listening to the community. And I hope they continue to try to implement new things. And I hope, it's not as campy and it's not as whatever. But I mean, here's the thing too. I almost feel like with some of those games and some of those maps in Modern Warfare, if they were already like that, you could also kind of see that happening in Modern Warfare 2 as well. So I don't know. I could see it both ways, but I guess the way that I'm hoping is I hope that they don't replicate Modern Warfare 2019, because if they replicate Modern Warfare 2019, I think it'll only grab people for so long, and then people will just go, whatever, we played this already, right? Which you see more and more now. More people in the Call of Duty community are being more, maybe not disillusioned, but more people in the Call of Duty community are kind of being like, oh, we've been there before. Oh, look, a new bundle. And people are already kind of getting tired of it, which is incredibly ostensible with Vanguard and how people are receiving that game. I mean, there's like no hype for Vanguard at all. And I know some people out there do like the game. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if you like the game, you like the game. That's cool. But just from what I've observed, there's just like no hype surrounding anything. I mean, the Cold War Super Easter egg, which we'll talk about as well, that generated more hype than literally anything, than any of the new weapons, than anything like that. And I think it also generated the most controversy as well with one of the recent developments going on right now. But I guess, what do you think about the Super Easter egg then, if we're just going to transition over to that now? What do you think about the Super Easter egg in Cold War?
So, okay. I don't think it was actually that bad. I think it was kind of what they made it out to be. I think the reward is cool. I think the fact that you get a legendaries and a legendary weapon on round 1, epic even, sorry. They called it, in the older games, they called legendary and epic. They switched it around or whatever. So I get a bit confused with that. But obviously it's the purple one, isn't it? The purple that you get this one with. So I think that reward in itself is cool. And before we start ranking the super Easter eggs, it's better than the Black Ops 3 super Easter egg. It's better
Agreed.
than the Black Ops 2 super Easter egg, but you kind of got with Transit Diaries and Buried. It's better than the World War II super Easter egg. The only super Easter egg it isn't better than, and it's because it probably will never be topped, is the Infinite Warfare super Easter egg. I think there's a lot of the and let's just say that's never getting topped, pretty much, right? Unless they make a standalone zombies game, even that, like I don't see it ever being topped. If I'm being completely honest, just what the kind of like the state of COD at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think with the biggest issue is both on the community, and I wouldn't really say the developers, but I think just their wording was bad for the community itself. So their wording was over a dozen rewards, and kind of reflecting on it a little, I think obviously we got exactly what we were told we were getting, over a dozen rewards, but obviously they classed each individual emblem as a reward as well.
True.
So I think it's not really on the devs. I think it's just the community getting too excited.
I feel you. I think this, yeah.
Because I think you say over a dozen rewards, right? The zombie community isn't instantly fixed. Okay, so a new secret camo, a new location, on a map where we can get like pack-a-punch weapons and stuff really easy.
Mm-hmm.
All these other like side rewards and that is what the community thinks. And obviously that wasn't Treyarch's intention. They just wanted to give something cool to zombies fans that have done all the super Easter eggs.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, and there, obviously you didn't have to go back and do the Easter eggs again or anything. There wasn't really and I said it to the Easter eggs again, but they said already, if you haven't done the Easter eggs, you might want to do them. And, people did. And then you get a really good reward with it, because spawning in with an epic weapon, it's good. You know what I mean?
I think that's the main thing. That's the main reward that you get for doing this, right?
Yeah.
I think, with the sticker, I'm thinking back to Black Ops 4, which I guess we could compare this to Black Ops 4 too, right? Because, with the gauntlets and the unsinkable hard mode gauntlet, if you do that flawlessly, all you get is a sticker with a purple outline, right? Like, that's not a good reward. But, at least now you get emblems plus an in-game thing that you didn't get back in Black Ops 4. So, I mean, hey, I understand people are frustrated with the emblems and the calling cards and, I'm never going to use any of these and whatever, blah, blah, blah. I get it, but at the same time, Treyarch did kind of lay it out for us and say, hey, this is the, we're getting 12 rewards and that's about it. Thanks for playing the game, kind of a thing, right? So, I mean, I think there's also a fine line too between speculation and expectation, because like us, I'm if I'm not mistaken, on the podcast before the Super Easter egg came out, we were talking about what could happen. Is there a secret room? Is there a secret whatever, right? Yeah. Which, I mean, say what you want about the new addition to Zoo, it is still a secret. Like, let's be honest, okay? All these people talking about, oh, well, it's not a new area. Well, yeah, it is, though, because they added something extra to the map. And plus, I don't know if you saw this as well, there's like monkey masks scattered around the other
I did.
regions.
And if you press them or interact with them, it puts you straight to Zoo, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's your next
you're
region.
Guaranteed, yeah. So, there's little extra things like that are actual secrets in the thing. So, yeah, I do believe it is still a secret, even though, it's in an area that we're familiar with. But, again, let's be honest here. Even if there were secrets back in Die Maschine or Firebase Z, those secrets would be in areas we're familiar with too. If there was some secret door or some secret bunker or whatever, whatever people were speculating about. But I guess long story short, I'm fine with the reward. I think we also have to keep in mind too that, this is Treyarch's version of a super Easter egg. I think with Director's Cut and all that, with Infinite Warfare, I think, Cosmic, you were mentioning this back when we were guests on Flamer's podcast, with how, that was just, Infinite Warfare is more of a just fun, wacky kind of a throw everything out there and see what works and take as many risks as possible kind of a thing, and try to be as different as possible, but at the same time keeping the core formula. Like with Treyarch and what they do, they try to keep theirs kind of grounded, trying to keep their core experiences mostly the same, so that maybe in their mind, if there's a consistent map loop, there's consistent, you go into the map, you know what to expect, but However, I understand at the same time where people might want a Cold War director's cut kind of a thing. I understand where people might want that to change up the flow a little bit, but I'm just
Yeah,
noticing. My observation is, however, that Treyarch seems to want to be more consistently like grounded and like, hey,
yeah.
here's a little upgrade, here's a little thing like the RK5, like an epic rarity starting weapon, right? Like here's a little bit of an advantage, but at the same time, you still got to follow the core gameplay that we've laid out for you
The
because
thing
that's just
is,
their style, I
yeah,
guess.
I think what the community is not really seeing as well is I think Infinite Warfare as well is quite a difficult game. Like it's
Oh, it
not the
is.
easy. Like think about it, right? Infinite Warfare, it's not a super easy zombie game. A lot of things will actually put you down, you know, without you really noticing it.
Hmm.
So I think the being overpowered completely makes it so that game is completely easy and playable compared to it being quite a challenging kind of middle ground. Because again, the game is difficult. Well, Cold War Zombies obviously it has its challenging moments.
Hmm.
Obviously, I'm not like a round 100 speedrunner person, so I'm not really like an absolute pro player or anything. But the game is fairly easy, right? So I could definitely see them adding in something where like you got all your perks from round one or whatever, and you got your pack a punch weapons or whatever. People will get bored.
Mm.
I think people will get bored. I think it'd be a fun thing for the first little bit, but then the novelty will wear off really fast. Because I think with Infinite Warfare's super Easter egg as well, it was a different time for the community. A completely different time for the community, and
That's
it
fair.
was what we needed in a way as well. With Cold War Zombies, you can get to like round 10 and pretty much get all your perks, and then obviously you haven't packed a bunch of the way, but by the time you get to like round 10, you can fully upgrade your weapon or get your perks or whatever. So I think again, as cool as it would have been to have that, get all your perks, get a bunch of points or whatever, and just start killing zombies, it's not necessary in the game. And you also have that rampage inducer thing that makes the game go super hard and quick.
Right.
And so in a way, you're kind of like getting to where you want to be faster. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I personally, it would have been great to have it, but keeping it realistic and the reward we got was pretty good, I would say as well, for
I,
all
I
things
think I
considered.
think you hit the nail on the head there. With I think people would make it seem like, oh, what's funny too. I think the same people who were complaining previously about Cold War being too easy are now complaining that Cold War isn't too easy, right? So
Hmm.
like you have people going, oh my god, now I need help with Legion. Oh my god, right? Like all of a sudden, right? It's like, oh, I
Hmm.
thought Cold War was easy, right? Like
Yeah,
I don't
like there
know.
is challenging
There
aspects.
are
Like,
challenging aspects to it. Like, dude, it took me the longest time to beat Legion. I sucked at that boss fight.
I
Um,
I I hate the boss fight
I
because of how
freaking
challenging it is. Because it's a
yeah.
hard boss fight, you know. Because
It
I
honestly
I think
is.
what makes it, yeah, I think what makes it challenging is not only the zombies running super fast. I don't know if they still do that, and
Oh,
the
they do.
giant spawn frequency of them, right? And not only the fact that Legion is a complete bullet sponge, you get to focus all your attention on them at a given time, but the timer.
Time
You
limit's
know,
tricky.
if you didn't have the timer, things would be a lot. No, I wouldn't say a lot easier, but like
It'd be a little
you'd
bit
be a
more
little bit.
manageable.
Yeah, I think you'd be a little ease at mind. If it takes me a little bit longer, it's fine, right? Because like
Yeah.
you have like 9 minutes, you have 9-10 minutes, whatever it is, right? Like,
Yeah.
you don't have a lot of time. You gotta do this. You gotta do this relatively quickly.
Yeah.
So
And man, it's one of the more satisfying moments in Cold War when you do actually beat Legion. So,
yeah,
um,
I mean it
it's
is like
good.
it's because it's hard, and when you beat it, you're like, yes, I finally did it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, good boss fight, even though it's really hard and annoying. It's a
100%.
decent boss fight.
Yeah, I would agree, man. But back with the Cold War Super Easter egg, I think. Yeah, I mean, I think Treyarch's not done either. I mentioned
No,
this in a previous video of mine where I know a lot of people are disappointed in it, even though they told you all what was going to be happening in a roundabout way. But I know people are disappointed. But keep in mind, Treyarch's not done with Cold War Year 2 yet. We're still
no,
gonna get content. We're still gonna be getting Jungle. They confirmed that. I hope Jungle is an onslaught map. I know WMD wasn't an onslaught map when they added that, but let's hope Jungle is. You also have the Onslaught LTMs that are going to be coming to the game as well. That all the people who didn't previously experience those can play those for the first time. And then, hey, people like me on PlayStation who got to play those, hell yeah, I get to play those fun game modes again, And
There
I
you
hope
go,
they
yeah.
stay there permanently this time. Like Holiday Onslaught seems to be there permanently last time I checked. So like, it was kind of an interesting thing. Also Outbreak Collapse being the other game mode that they added in. I'm pretty sure that's here to stay. I'd be very surprised if it's not. But I think the thing to take away from it though is Treyarch isn't done, and I think there's a lot more stuff in Cold War Year 2 to look forward to. Like I'm sure everybody's seen some of the leaks so far for, maybe some weapons coming and some new operator skins and things like that. Obviously, take that with a grain of salt because maybe some of those won't be added. Maybe some of them will be removed. Maybe things were planned, but then, whatever. But it does seem like there's some stuff to look forward to here. So, I'm not going to speak to what the leaks are specifically because, don't want to spoil it for people. Like I was spoiled, but I don't actually mind I was spoiled this time because some of the shit looks pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, I mean, there you go. Like you're saying, clearly, Treyarch isn't done with Cold War Zombies as of right now. They're definitely going to add more to it, whether, with skins you're saying, or like actual content itself, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could see possibly some other content being added to the game, like new stuff, whether that's an Onslaught map or maybe another type of Easter egg type thing. Who
Maybe.
knows? But I mean, it'd be cool. It'd be cool. I would definitely like to see more added to Cold War Zombies because, I mean, I think Cold War is one of the best zombie games, and yeah.
Agreed, man. We'll just have to see what happens because right now what's going on is with Vanguard Season 3, which I guess that'll be the next thing we talk about here. Vanguard Season 3 doesn't really have a lot. It's really...
It has a map, doesn't it? It has one multiplayer map.
It has a map and a battle pass and like a bunch of new bundles to buy in the store and like that's it. So, I was watching a video from Prestigious Key the other day.
I think I was watching the same video,
I completely agree with what he was saying, where half of that roadmap is bundles. Half of the roadmap is, hey, look, buy stuff in the store, which there isn't inherently anything wrong with that because I know that's their whole business model.
Yeah.
And I know people will do it. And that's the thing, right? People will consistently buy bundles and people will consistently do that. So might as well make that a focal point. If it works, it works. But the content in between that, in between the stuff you pay for extra, should be worthwhile, should be more long lasting. Like Mayhem's an okay map. I don't mind it. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, I think it would work more. I think it would work better as a gunfight map. But I mean, the new guns are kind of fun to use.
I mean, I don't even know like what new guns are there. Like what
so
is
there's
there?
2 new battle pass guns. There's a marksman rifle and there's a new assault rifle. The marksman rifle's pretty good actually. So I don't mind using that one. The new AR is not too bad either. I haven't really used it extensively so far. And then they added 2 new melee weapons. Funny enough, Sledgehammer added a sledgehammer to the game as a melee weapon, which is, it's all right, I guess. And then the Skull Crusher, it's like a Viking Norse like mythical axe that you can use, and you can like throw it too. Which I do have to give credit where credit is due, though. Even though Vanguard has not been that good of a game so far in its life cycle, do have to give credit where credit is due. I like the concept of throwable melee weapons.
Yeah,
because you have the Skull Crusher and the Ice Axe, which are 2 throwable melee weapons that you throw, hits a person, you can pick it back up and swing it around some more. So I do like that idea, and I hope that does come back for future Call of Duty games.
Do you know what the first game to do it was?
Which game?
Well, if I'm correct, and I could be wrong, I'm only thinking now that it is this because I think it makes most sense. Was an Infinite Warfare with the axe. You could actually get a variant of the axe and you could throw it. So the base version of the axe didn't do it itself. But
I remember this actually from Zombies, right?
Yeah. So yeah, but you could get if I'm not mistaken, you get the axe in multiplayer as well.
Oh, really?
I think it became available in multiplayer, or it's just in Zombies. I'm pretty sure it was available in multiplayer as well. But no, you could go around, use the axe, and throw it.
Okay. Yeah, now I remember that. Yeah, I remember looking through that what was it, like the armory thing
Yes,
with all the
yes.
salvage you can trade in. Yes,
Mm.
I remember that now. I forgot originally because didn't I haven't really bought a lot of
No,
bundles or not bundles. I haven't really bought a lot of variants yet in my Infinite Warfare. So,
in
I
your
mean, hey,
collection of your arsenal
in
of
my
fun
arsenal
weapons.
of like 2 variants that I have right now.
Man,
uh,
you see things like that is like I want to go back to Infinite Warfare and just like unlock everything because some of the weapons are so unique in there. Like
it is pretty cool.
that's something I wish that like let's say for Vanguard, right? They'd
Mhm.
implement something like that into the game or future COD games as well. Like just be able to unlock weapons. I don't know. Well, you said when we talked about like the throwable melee weapons, it made me thought of that. And no, that's just a memory I had of like one of the cool things that game did. And whenever there's a
That is
chance
cool.
to praise Infinite Warfare, I think it should be absolutely double down on. So yes.
However, I do gotta say though, that's all the praise I'm gonna be giving right now for the melee weapons in Vanguard because the challenges to get the melee weapons, oh my god, like
I've
I
seen
cannot even begin to describe to you the frustration I've had over the last week trying to make these videos for tutorials. Okay, like, dude, it's absurd. And this is where it all comes full circle, right? Vanguard is a completely broken game
yep.
with like half of the things don't work half the time. So basically, let's start with the sledgehammer. Okay, and I
Right.
explained
Okay.
this in my tutorial, and you're gonna get a kick out of this.
Yeah.
So, first of all, it wasn't tracking. First things
Okay,
first.
that's funny. That's
The
hilarious.
challenge in zombies, because here's the thing, I unlocked the sledgehammer in zombies, and then I unlocked the skull crusher in multiplayer because of zombies being weird, right? Okay, so the sledgehammer, the zombies challenge was get 20 or more consecutive kills without being hit 50 times with a melee weapon.
50.
50 times with a melee weapon in Vanguard zombies. Okay? So I had to
That
get
is
20 kills
oh
without getting hit, right? So I did the challenge.
he
Nothing
did the challenge.
tracked.
Nothing tracked.
Nothing tracked. Fuck. Okay, let's go back in again. Only 22 out of 50 tracked. Why? I have no idea. Go back in again. Then only another 9 tracked after I did it about another 40 times, right? So then I'm going, all right, what's going on with this game? Somehow, after that point, the game only started tracking one of those per game. Per
Okay, pretty
game.
cool. Pretty
So
cool.
I get 20 kills without getting hit, end the game. Start again. 20 kills, da 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 da, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that's what I had to do to get the damn thing unlocked. And it was the most tedious, the dumbest thing ever I think I've ever done in zombies, okay?
Okay.
Then the Skull Crusher axe was supposed to
Yes.
be kill 200 boom shriers with throwable melee weapons or throwing knives.
Yes.
Okay? So I go into it, doing it, doing it, doing it. It tracked like 4. So I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this in zombies. I'm gonna make a multiplayer tutorial.
I
So
mean,
then I go into multiplayer.
yes.
Multiplayer, okay, get 5 melee kills in 15 different matches. Ooh,
Mhm.
that's a good challenge, an actual challenge. In my opinion, like, then not something that's gonna be super annoying like the other ones. So I'm going through, it's tracking pretty well, it's doing all right. And then I made a different class because I wanted to not only use the melee weapon, my melee weapon to get the thing unlocked, but I also wanted to use the new battle pass weapon. So I made one class with the new tactical rifle and one class with the new AR. And so what I noticed was that when I was using the class with the AR with the melee weapon, it didn't track. But then when I was using the class with the tactical rifle or the marksman rifle, it was tracking. So depending on
Mhm.
whichever class you made with whatever weapons you made, the melee tracking would
You
count,
see,
even though those weapons are primary weapons that have nothing to do with the fact that melee weapons are secondary weapons.
so here's the thing. This is why I don't play Vanguard. I just find my life is a lot less stressful when I don't play it. So
Dude, I
I
don't
mean,
blame you. I don't blame you.
I hope grinding for them weapons were worth it. I hope they're decent. Are they decent
The
or are
Skull
they just
Crusher's
okay?
not bad. I like the Skull Crusher. It's a cool looking melee weapon. That was worth it. The Sledgehammer, when it comes to a weapon itself, not worth it at all. Like,
No.
I made a tutorial on how to unlock it just in case people want to use it and some people think it's worth it. right? But like melee weapons in Vanguard Zombies are just shit. Like there's no other way to
Bad.
put it. You know, I don't know what happened between games that the melee weapons are just terrible now. Like with Cold
Hmm.
War Zombies, all the melee weapons were so unique. The wakizashi, the E-tool, the normal ass knife. You know, they all have their own melee speeds, they have their own ranges, they have their own like unique characteristics. This game, besides the throwable melee weapons, because the throwable melee weapons actually swing a little bit faster, all the other melee weapons, the katana, the sawtooth, the knife, they swing the same speed, they have the same range, they have the same thing going for them. And the only thing different in the game when it comes to melee weapons are the throwable ones, which again, I gave credit where credit was due. That's a cool idea. But like the katana, a long ass sword, has the same range as a tiny knife. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Whereas in
There's no
Cold
point in going
War,
for it.
yeah, whereas in
Yeah.
Cold War, the big ass sledgehammer, Cold War had a sledgehammer too, that had
Yeah.
some good range, but you swung it a little bit slower, so it was a little bit of give and take. And then you had the E tool, which it didn't have any lunge, but you had to get kind of close to the zombies, and like there's like characteristics there. And then the melee weapons in Vanguard Zombies just fell off a cliff there, and I just don't understand what happened there.
Yeah, because I know Cold War, the melee weapon, the meta of it is quite like important because
Yeah,
the weapons they differed so much comparing each other.
for sure.
So it's like I mean, again, I mean, you know it. Everyone watching this knows that I don't really play Vanguard that much, just because again, I find less hair falls out when I don't play it. So that's why I don't play it, right? So, um, I mean, it's a shame to hear that like, the melee weapons are just trash, and even like the challenges aren't tracking. I mean, I think that sums up Vanguard's life cycle in
It
a,
really
in a
does.
nutshell. That the game could be so well, maybe not zombies, but the game in general could be a good game, but there's all these issues that come with it, and it's like,
Oh no, I think Zombies could have been good. I think Objective Base could have been good, but whatever they did with it just wasn't good, you know? It's
mm,
just it just didn't really work out, and the bugginess and the glitchiness and not being able to pause, and you get kicked for inactivity, and really annoying enemy types, and the maps are very
yeah.
repetitive, and like
I think Vanguard Zombies, like with the objective base, will be something fun to go back to in like a year's time, like like a year or two. Not for like oh my god, this was so good. I wish they made more. But I think I'll be go back and go like play that and be like, wow, this was
hmm.
awful. This will be like the new age transit of like zombies.
Yeah, no, you're not
If you get what I
wrong.
mean.
You're
I
not
think we'll go
wrong.
back to it and be like, okay, this was actually really bad. Like
Yeah.
this wasn't good. But we'll have a laugh while doing it.
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah.
I think that's what this is. And obviously, if every zombie map, there's gonna have to be a transit every now and again. And no disrespect to transit. Transit has its place. It's a fun map for what it is. But I think without maps like Transit, we couldn't have maps like Origins or Rise and Drac or Shadows of Evil.
That's
So
true.
these really, really underwhelming, non-fun maps, we need them to make all the other maps look better. So we need this to make this look better.
You
So
make a
I
good
mean,
point. You make a good
well, there you
point.
go. I am only
Uh
using the smartest logic.
There you go. I mean, hey, yeah, you got something to compare it to, right? So it's like,
Exactly.
wow, now we know what's really good, and now we know what not to stoop to, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, no, that's a good comparison. I mean, here's the thing too with objective based, we're not going to be seeing that anymore either, because
No.
of obviously Shinonuma Reborn coming soon to Vanguard, and by coming soon I mean season 4, because zombies content in season 3 is literally not existent.
Yes.
So yeah. So that'll be really interesting to see what happens there, if that ends up being a good experience or not, because I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of people could make the argument that they feel scammed by Vanguard a lot of the times, honestly.
Because you
Like,
purchased the game because of the cool trailer with the Billie Eilish song in it and the cool visuals, and then when we got the game, it was completely underwhelming. And
well,
now we've only had like,
it's not even that. It's not even the trailers alone. It's like, as a consumer, you just expect the product to work. Like
yeah.
I
I
I
mean, when you
know I
look
know
back to
Cold
any other zombie
War.
game,
What's up?
I mean, when you look back to any other zombie game, right? Like Black Ops 4, and I know I'll be like, oh, Black Ops 4 had more content on launch, right? But like, when you look back to other games where like Black Ops Cold War, for example, not Black Ops Cold War, Black Ops 4, right? I mean, that game had more working content on the disc than Vanguard's had, and it will have in its life cycle. And I know there's
Right.
the whole like devs having pressure to make like game modes they don't want to
Right.
make, time constraints and all that. Completely understandable, right? But when you look at it as a consumer, which a lot of people don't like to do because it's like, oh, well, there's just people working on these games, and that's completely understandable as well. But at the end of the day, Vanguard's going to finish, and it's going to have less content than Black Ops 4 did at launch.
It might, honestly. I mean,
It probably will. I mean, I don't see them making another map after Shinonuma Reborn. I don't.
I think they'll make one more. I don't know, man. I just feel like even with Black Ops Cold War and Black Ops 4, even though they had those games had their problems, they were fixed. Like things were fixed, and they worked on making a stable product. Vanguard, I still can hardly play it. Like, I mean, I get kicked out of my games for no reason, right? Oh, the error message that keeps coming up on my games is Dover Beal, which is like, oh, you lost connection to the internet. No, I didn't. No, I did not.
It's the weird way they've made the game. I mean, here's what kind of comes down to as well, right? Is there's a reason that we all hate the COD games during the main life cycle and love them at the end. Or not hate, but you know what I mean? Like, dislike.
Right.
Because it feels like every year, except with Cold War, maybe, people don't like the game at launch. Okay, launch is honeymoon phase. Bam. Then the game until like almost the end of the life cycle is people just feel underwhelmed and burnt out until the occasional content drops. And then by the end of the game's life cycle, when the new one comes out and that new game has all that issues and bugs and problems that aren't getting fixed, people go back to the old one and think of it like how it is now compared to launch or whatever, and think, wow, this game was so good. Why don't people like it? It's like, well, no, it's because the game wasn't working at launch. And that's the cycle that happens for the most part.
But for this, it literally is not working at all.
For this, Vanguard could quite possibly be a broken game after as well.
100%. I agree.
I think as soon as they can cut ties to this game, they're going to do it.
Dude, and Activision, it's very apparent that Activision's already doing that. Look how early they're teasing Modern Warfare 2. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like this is pretty early for teasing a Call of Duty game at this point. I think they are ready to cut ties, and of course,
it's because they're trying to build hype. And Modern Warfare 2 had plenty of time and plenty of development. So, like, you know what? Let's just try and get this game out as soon as possible and completely forget about Vanguard. Because I think they're going to try and hit a complete home run. And even speaking about Modern Warfare 2, and okay, we're gonna use big brain here, right? I think the game will have plenty of problems, right? But it'll be night and day compared to Vanguard. It'll be night and day. Campaign, multiplayer, and whatever third game mode it has, and Warzone, it'll be night and day in a good way. Don't get me wrong, it'll have its issues. The game to the core, there might be things that are just broken, like safe spaces and doors and stuff, which you already kind of see in Vanguard. Maybe not as much, but I think Infinity Ward obviously have had that 3 years to work on their game without like people stepping in like, hey, you're going to work in this game here, or hey, this needs done or whatever. They've had 3 years of just time to work on their game, and I think the product they do release, it'll have issues, but it'll be 10 times better than Vanguard. I honestly think that, and I know that's such like a generic thing to say because every year it's like, oh, you know what, Vanguard's like so much better than Cold War. Like Cold War, for example, you see Cold War, Trek gonna bring it back. They're bringing back 3-lane maps. It's gonna be super fun. Or Modern Warfare to Black Ops 4, and the cycle kind of continues. Right? But this year, I genuinely believe, because I don't think we've had a game like Vanguard, maybe Ghosts, in like a broad sense, was like that in a way. I know a lot of people are going back and liking Ghosts now, but I mean, honestly, I see Modern Warfare 2 being a highlight for COD.
Like that's the thing, man. Like I want to believe that. I would love to believe that, right? I'll believe it when I see it. I hope Modern Warfare 2 is a good game. I just, with Vanguard, and I know they're different studios, right? With Sledgehammer and Infinity Ward, but like, I don't really know. I mean, I've call me a Treyarch fanboy or whatever, right? But I just prefer Treyarch's games, so I'm just a little bit skeptical of what Infinity Ward is going to be doing. Not to say that Infinity Ward doesn't make good products, because they have in the past with the original Modern Warfare games. And I played Infinite Warfare kind of late, but I kind of like Infinite Warfare. But I don't know, man. I just hope it's not a copy paste of Modern Warfare 2019. I know we said this earlier, but I just really hope they do something different, and I hope they
Yeah.
fix a lot of the problems that Vanguard has had. And I mean, they're definitely going to be cutting ties with Vanguard pretty soon, because obviously there are those rumors out there that Vanguard's not even going to get a season 6, and the fact that all this marketing stuff is happening for Modern Warfare 2 already, in addition to the fact that Cold War Year 2 stuff is generating more hype than anything Vanguard is doing right now. So I mean, you can very clearly see, like, there's some people in the community right now, for example, like when they make double content for like Cold War, and then they also make some Vanguard videos. The Vanguard videos do not do as well as the Cold War videos, straight up, because people don't really like Vanguard and they don't want to come back to it really, and
No.
it's becoming more and more apparent that people are just getting sick of it. Like, the main reason why I'm coming back to Vanguard is when new updates happen, just to try it out a little bit, and ranked play. Like, I want to get better at competitive Call of Duty. I want to learn that more. I want to have fun with that. But it's making it really hard to have fun with that, because the other day, once again, I was booted off because the servers don't work, and I was banned for 30 minutes from playing the game. Because, you got booted off too many times, and that's unsportsmanlike, and we got to put a temporary ban on you for playing ranked play. And it's like, come on, man, like that's not even in my control. Like, I didn't even I'm not leaving the game because, oh my god, this guy is he's shitting all over me, and he's I'm getting my ass kicked. I stay through the games even though I get my ass kicked, because that's what's called being sportsmanlike. And that's
you
what's
take
called,
it on the chin.
You take it on the chin. You learn from it, and you get better. You either fry or get fried. And I'll curse and swear and whatever along the way, but I'm still gonna try to learn and have fun.
Yeah.
But it makes it really hard to do that when the game just straight up is like, oh, you're not connected to the internet, when I'm literally live streaming the game, and that requires an internet connection. So
and there's no issues going on with the live stream. The connection's fine.
Yeah.
There's no distortion or audio issues. There's no disconnecting. So, I think, we've said it so many times already, but Vanguard is just a game, and it has issues. And are them issues going to get fixed before the game's done? Probably not. This is normally the point of the game's life cycle where things get a little bit better, to be honest, because content actually comes out that's good. Hasn't happened yet. How much? Okay, so how long?
That's why we can only cross our fingers and hope that Shinonuma Reborn is actually good, because right now I really don't know what's going to be happening with this game, and just everything that they're doing is just, it's rough. It's rough.
So Vanguard came out the 5th of November.
Yeah.
2 seconds. I'll find out how many days.
How many days has it been since Vanguard has released?
So Vanguard has been out for 177 days, which is,
wow.
That's a lot of days, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
DLC. So let's see how much DLC content has Vanguard gotten. Let's have a little look, because I'm actually quite curious to see as well, because obviously, here's what I think has happened as well. So you know how Vanguard has had 16 maps at launch, and that was a giant selling point of the game. Because this COD has had more content than ever.
Right.
I think what they've done is they've taken all the DLC content and just thrown it on their game, the base game. Because I don't play multiplayer regularly, right? But do you know how many maps have been added to Vanguard in terms of like DLC?
Let me think about that.
Well, no, I actually had the list here. So since 5? The game's come out, there has been 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, is there any? Yeah, all 6v6. There's been 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 3 maps in season 1, 2 maps in season 2.
Okay, so then 6, because we have 1 map in season 3 right now. And then there's going to be another map at the middle of season 3. So there's going to be 7 DLC maps so far.
So far, yes. So 7 DLC maps, and the game's been out for that amount of time.
Which, I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with having those DLC maps, but some of them are just not good, straight up. Like Gondola is just not a good map, I don't think, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, Shipment as well. That's that was a bonus map that everyone got, wasn't it? Obviously, everyone gets all the maps in this because, free to play model and stuff.
Yeah.
But that was like a bonus map that they released before season 1.
Yeah. So actually, and then Shipment isn't even like.
I think we take that out, like the DLC maps. I think we can take Shipment out of that. So if we actually look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so we've had 6 pieces of new DLC content. Any of them been remakes at all? No,
actually, that is the one thing that people who really enjoy Vanguard actually say, wow, it's nice that we have original maps, Like, I understand where you guys are coming from, because I know we have a couple of remakes. Like, for example, you have Castle from World at War in the game, and you have that other map that was reimagined there, Radar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some of them are remasters, and the majority of them are original maps, I just find my problem is that there's really only a couple of them that are good. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if it's just because I'm biased from playing competitive play a little bit more than actual normal multiplayer, but like maps like Berlin and Tuscan and Bocage, like those are good maps. At least I think those are good maps. But then other maps in the game like Numa Numa, Desert Siege, like those really aren't my cup of tea. Like those maps aren't very fun.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, Gondola, like I was mentioning earlier, that was a DLC map that was added. I don't like that one.
I think for me, the only map I kind of really remember from my time playing was Decoy.
And I don't like Decoy.
Map. I quite enjoyed Decoy. I don't know what it was because the one thing I remember about that map was all the streamers getting annoyed because the grass looked really fake in it, but it was supposed to, obviously. So all the streamers, because is it not supposed to be like a fake village or something?
I mean, literally the name of the map is Decoy.
Yeah, obviously, right? Obviously, yeah, so Decoy, right? So it's a decoy. But then you got all these streamers being like, "Oh, look at this, guys! The graphic in Vanguard is so bad." Like looking at the fake grass when it was obviously supposed to be fake.
Yeah, I remember that vaguely too. Yeah.
So I actually remember quite enjoying that map. Obviously, Castle is a classic. I really like Castle and Vanguard. Das House is. It's just carnage.
Das Haus is like honestly the only thing people really play in that game. Das Haus and Shipment. That's like the only things people play.
Like, it's like Shoot House, isn't it? From 29 Modern Warfare.
It's better than Shoot House. I will say that. I think it is better than Shoot House. Shoot House got old to me really quickly. It just, you had so many people camping up on the second floor there, and just it was just really annoying to me. But Das House is kind of the Shipment of this game. It honestly doesn't even feel like Shipment is the Shipment of this game, because of just they added like verticality to Shipment, and I just go, really, like.
Yeah. Did they do that in Modern Warfare as well? Or was that not done in Modern Warfare?
I mean, you can climb on top of the crates in Modern Warfare, but this is like, oh yeah, there's actual walls there now, and you can, climb on top and hide behind cover and like it's almost encouraged for you to do that. Whereas, in Modern Warfare, oh yeah, if you jump properly, you could get up there, but
and I'm looking now as well, sub pens. That the map's called? The one
that's a terrible map.
Yeah, I seen that. I was like, yeah, that map's not good. I think Red Star is quite fun. Obviously,
Red Star is
obviously every zombie player knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that map's actually quite good in multiplayer. I quite like the way it looks as
well. That one's okay.
I'm a fan of snowy maps. Obviously, it's like, again, a completely kind of open map except for like the buildings.
Right.
But the way it's kind of laid out is like, yeah. What's this? Oh, what's this map here?
Then you have Oasis, which is another map. Which Oasis is Terra Maledicta.
Terra Maledicta. That is actually Terra Maledicta, because I haven't played it.
Yeah, actually, the starting area, like when you first spawn into the game, that's Oasis, and
that's funny.
And like most of the staging area is Oasis, and like a couple of assets from other desert maps, like Desert Siege, are in there as well. So yeah,
that is actually hilarious. Um,
But Oasis is
what
okay. It's not bad. It's not the great. It's just like,
what was Dome? What is that? Dome? Oh, Dome is
oh
the other
yeah.
World at War map, isn't it?
Yeah, that one's the spawns on that one are terrible. I find myself spawning in the worst positions on that map, so I'm not a huge fan of that.
Right, look
Um,
here.
but I mean, I think long story short here with the Vanguard content and what's going on here is you can have 16 maps at launch and you can, and have people form their own opinions about it. And like we're talking about right now, like I don't really like most of the maps in Vanguard except for maybe a handful. But it just has to be, it just has to work. It just has to work and be stable and not have packet bursts and latency issues and ghost bullets being shot. And like I don't know. I find myself in the honestly kind of a similar situation than I did with Modern Warfare. Because with Modern Warfare, I really only liked a couple of maps. I liked Gunrunner, I liked Hackney Yard, like, and then most of the other maps were gunfight maps that I liked. So
Mm.
I don't know, man. Just maybe
Well, I mean,
just
I'm actually going through Cold War's content list right now, right? So Cold War at launch had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, had 8 maps at launch, and we got
yeah.
Nuketown later in November. But alongside that, we also had the Fire Team maps as well. So we had that as content. I mean, I'm just going through these maps, right? Obviously, there's a lot of remakes, but they're maps that people actually enjoy. So if Checkmate was a good map, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was not bad.
I think Miami was kind of hated on, but I don't think it was actually that bad of a map.
I liked Miami personally.
I think the vibe of it was quite good.
Yeah.
Crossroads wasn't that great. Cartel was fun, but it could be annoying.
Yeah, it was okay.
Let's have a look here. Let's look at the DLC map. So a lot of remakes. So you got Nuketown, you got Express, you got Nuketown 84 Holiday, you got Raid, you got Apocalypse, you got WMD.
Apocalypse is fun.
WMD. When did WMD come along? That came in
year
not
two.
Too long ago.
That's year two
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
For some reason, it's saying here season 2 it came along when that's just not. They didn't come in season 2.
All right then.
You have
season two of Vanguard.
Is that how you class it, Phil? Because this isn't like a Cold War like.
No, I know. I mean, the wording on whatever you're reading is a little bit weird.
Actually, no. It has Vanguard VG next to it. Never mind. My bad. So that is actually accurate. So Vanguard, obviously. Diesel is a pretty bad map. Standoff was obviously a remake.
Diesel isn't bad for gunfight though.
Is it not?
It's not terrible for gunfight.
Okay, there was actually some good points in it. I remember, or depending on what side you spawn in. Is the side where it had more of the cover on it compared to being out in the open beside like the gas station. That side was good for like picking people off. That side was
that
good
head
for that.
glitch there on the wall.
That side was really good for that. Let's see. What was it? I can't even say this one. Yamatania?
Yamatau. Yeah, that one's not bad.
Not bad. Obviously Hijack was good. Slums again, good map. Rush.
A lot of Black Ops 2.
Yeah, I mean, why even make Black Ops 2 remastered at this point? It's pretty much in Cold War. Just add the guns in the Cold War, and that'll do it.
Dude, I'm down actually. AN94.
That'd be great.
Yes, that'd be so cool.
PDW. What else is there?
Scorpion Evo.
Tag 45, the pistol.
Yeah, the 5.7s. Oh, that'd be sick, dude. I would love that.
That'd be amazing, honestly. Even it had a Nuketown 84 Halloween, which I completely forgot about. I mean, yeah, and then you go for the gunfight maps.
Those are my favorite, man. You got ICBM, you got KGB, you got U-Bahn, Mansion, Amsterdam. Those are pretty good maps. Showroom, yeah. Game shows. Game shows really fun.
Yeah. Then you have the fire team maps as well, and then the zombies content. Yeah, when you compare Vanguard to Cold War in terms of DLC, Cold War is definitely like the most updated game for content wise, I think.
For sure.
Can we see the actual like weapons in that added in?
You
Because
know,
obviously,
that's interesting to think about because I feel like with Cold War and Vanguard, the weapons and how they're being released are very similar to Cold War's, where Cold War had the 2 battle pass weapons, obviously. And then during the seasons, Cold War added like 1 or 2 weapons during a season. Vanguard is doing the same thing. But again, if the challenges suck and the challenges don't track, nobody wants to do it. That's the problem. Because I think Vanguard in and of itself has decent concepts. Like there are things in the game that could be good, they could be really good, but the thing just don't work because it's laggy and server issues. And dude, even Warzone is like broken now. After the Vanguard integration, my
yeah.
Warzone is having the same problem than as my Vanguard with the oh you're disconnected from the internet now. Well, what the fuck? No, this never used to happen to me during Modern Warfare or Cold
Mm,
War. Hello.
yeah. I think I think Vanguard just caused a lot of headache, to be honest.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's a shame because the game will go down in history as just such a bad, not bad, just a mediocre game, you know.
it'll go
And I
down
mean,
as one of the more
from
controversial games
yeah,
in just the
from
franchise.
the base content to like the actual updates it's getting now. I think we talked about this on Flamers podcast, but that challenge with the trophy system was that us that
Huh.
talked about it? Yeah, and I think they
Yeah.
reverted it. I think they changed it. Did
They
they?
did. They did.
I think we'll just briefly mention it here. I don't know. I think it was, yeah. We'll briefly mention it here. So the challenge was essentially that you had to go, what, 15
15
games without
games
getting
without
killed by a
dying by a
grenade?
grenade. Yep.
Or was it dying to a grenade or taking damage from a grenade?
Dying.
Dying. Okay. Well, I mean, what else can you say? What else can you say? You know, it's like,
What a weird
I mean,
challenge.
whoever made that challenge clearly doesn't play their own game. Like 100%. Like, what developer thought, oh, let's make a challenge where they have to avoid grenades.
Because the problem
That'll be
with that
fun.
is it's not even reliant on player skill. It's just totally reliant on let's just hope the enemy doesn't throw a grenade at me. You know,
Yeah, and
like
don't get me wrong.
even
There's
though
other,
I just said all the other challenges are bad,
I
at
guess
least
in a
you can
way,
actually like try to do them with your skill.
yeah, I guess you can kind of look at it like this as well. As like, let's say do 15 games and get a double kill with your SMG quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, again, that's kind of reliant on like the players and what they're doing as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just that's easier to control than not getting a grenade thrown at you and then
Right?
dying to it. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I think a very odd challenge for something that's quite important in Vanguard with the explosives, because obviously we know that the explosives in the game are quite yeah something I don't know. For my time playing Vanguard, the explosives have been quite
Pretty powerful.
yes, pretty powerful. Like yeah, I mean that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah. But
But
hey, you know what? At the end of the day, we talk about all these problems because we want to address the problems. And if anybody from any of these studios is watching, we bring forward these problems so that we hope they get addressed and things get fixed. And it's tough love, you
yeah,
know.
tough love.
It's
Yeah,
tough love at the end of the day. I say
that's a
things are
good way
bad,
to.
things are really shitty because that's just what my opinion. And I want the game franchise to do good and not be broken.
Well, there you go. I mean, I completely agree.
So, yeah, man. I mean, I guess to wrap it all up, Cold War Year 2, the Super Easter egg, is a good reward. A lot of people are very disappointed in it because it's not what they particularly wanted, which I understand. People want more things and bigger and better Easter eggs. I'm not faulting them for that. I'm definitely not faulting them for that because I agree. I think a super cool secret map that you unlock for doing
Oh
Easter
yeah,
eggs could be cool. Or, ooh, we get to use the Pack Punch camos in multiplayer again like we did in Black Ops 3. Like, ooh, I agree. I agree with you. However, the thing is, the developers, I do believe, kind of laid it all out for us, and our imaginations kind of tried to fill in the gap there, and then the expectation was, oh my god, Zombies Chronicles 2 is the reward, right? And then it's like, no, it's not. So there's
Yeah.
that. The Super Easter egg reward I think is good for what it's worth. And hey, if you like calling cards and emblems and whatever like that, I know majority of people don't. If you like that kind of stuff, then I guess it's a worthwhile reward, right? In that
Mm.
regard. But of course, the main reward is the epic rarity loadout weapon. Modern Warfare 2. Hopefully, it doesn't just copy paste Modern Warfare 2019. And I hope it's not super camper friendly. And hope I honestly I want to get rid of the doors. And honestly, from Vanguard, I don't want to see any more destructible environments. That shit is so annoying to try to jump through and to like shoot through and like.
Oh
No,
yeah, I
no.
remember they're trying to market that so much. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, Vanguard's gonna have walls you can break through and boarded windows you can shoot through, and
I mean, I thought that was a cool idea too at first, but
yeah.
then I played it and I went, wow, this is actually pretty annoying now.
Yeah.
So there's that. And
think-
then Vanguard Season 3 is pretty underwhelming right now, and we just hope things are getting better.
But hey, it's still better than Battlefield 2042. So that's something we can always bring to the light. It might be bad, but it's not Battlefield 2042 because no game is Battlefield 2042. So
I mean, yeah, man, they definitely they definitely seem to have messed it up. But yeah, there's that, I suppose, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching episode 87 of the Division Z podcast. What was your favorite part? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. And got any other closing thoughts here before we end it off?
Not really. Just, let's hope Vanguard can be somewhat of a decent game by the time it ends. Probably not, but it's nice to dream. So yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Just be like that sometimes. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy and you haven't already, leave a like, subscribe if you're a brand new viewer here to the Division Z channel, and check out all the links down below in the description so you stay up to date with everything that Division Z does. Which, by the way, everybody should stay up to date with everything Division Z does, because we do have some things in the works for everybody, which I think are going to be very, very great. So, with that said, have a fantastic rest of your day or night, depending on where you are in this crazy world, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye, everyone.